Hey everyone, how's it going? It is Sal here. So today I want to talk about a movie. I don't tend to do this too much on this channel, but I love movies, so I wanna talk about one. So and it's gotta coincide with all these. So as we all know, I love. Words cannot describe how much I love the one and only Cher. And Cher is one of the few pop artists that have had just as massively successful a pop career and a film career. I mean, her films are iconic. She has an Oscar, for God's sake. But there's this one film that I've known about that Cher's done that I feel like a lot of people don't know about it. We always talk about Moonstruck. We always talk about Mask, all those great, amazing movies she's done. But there's this film that Cher did in 1996 that I feel like almost no one remembers or even knows about. So if you're my age, your chance of hearing about this movie is slim to none because it's almost as if it doesn't exist. But we're going to talk about it today because I think that it's a really cool film and an underrated film, but still not a great film. And we today are going to talk about Cher's 1996 motion picture called Faithful, which also starred, I want to get these names right, Chaz, oh my god, Palminteri and Ryan O'Neal. Chaz also is the writer of this as well. So let's go into a little bit of detail here. So I'm going to go into a little history about this film, and it's really small, but, we can talk about it. So Faithful is actually based on a play that Chaz wrote himself, and I'm not talking about Chaz's son, Chaz. This is a different Chaz. Chaz Palminteri. So just so we're clear on that. And he wrote this play, and it was released in 1991. And I guess somehow he was able to get the funds together. I mean, he's pretty famous as it is, but and they made it. They filmed. They didn't film the play, but they filmed the play into a movie, and it's basically what was on stage is what you saw on screen. So this film, I mean, I'm gonna give you guys the plot real quick. Basically, it's about a woman played by Cher. Her name is Maggie, and she's kind of, I don't even know how to describe this properly. She's about in her 40s, and she's kind of suffering through her own mental midlife crisis. Not like a bad thing, but she's clearly depressed. Her husband is cheating on her, and she's very sad and begins the process of taking her own life. And then a guy comes and ties her up, and basically this guy is a hired hitman who her husband hired to kill her. And what ensues is a black comedy about the situation and how it all ends up. So the thing about this movie is that it is well acted, it is well directed, everything about it is well done. The problem with this film is that it is a play. And there are many plays that can work well on screen. I mean, there's a bunch of movies that are based on them, and they all work great. I think a play that only had involved 3 people originally is hard to successfully do on film. And that's the reason why on April 19th, 1996 is when this film came out, and it bombed badly. And that was honestly a big shock because Cher's last film, Mermaids, had done so well. And this realistically is the last, well, it's not the last, but this marks the end of like Cher's big movie career, because after this we only got the If These Walls Could Talk TV movie and the what's it called? Tea with Mussolini, but I feel like a lot of people don't know as much about that movie either. So this is one of like her last like she is the lead in this movie. And it's kind of sad, but here's the thing about this movie is that if you accept it for what it is, then if you think of this movie as a play, it works so well. Now, me being a musical theater major, and I graduated with a degree in musical theater, I learned very quickly that I am not a play person. I do not enjoy plays at all. But this play, I think, is really interesting. I don't think that it ever truly grasps what it's trying to say, but, there are some really fun lines of dialogue, and it's quick, and, it's entertaining. I could imagine seeing this show live. And I don't think it's ever really been done since this movie came out, to be honest. Like, I haven't been able to find anything about the play itself. But, it works in its own way. And the thing is that this was never going to be a critical success. It just simply wasn't. And, I think that's okay. But I think that now it should be a little more well-known, because I think now that, the box office bomb of it has been buried, we can talk a little bit about that it's actually a pretty decent movie. It just was never meant to be a success. And here's the crazy thing about this movie is because this movie did so bad, this film is almost impossible to track down on home media. It's not available for streaming, so we can scratch that out right here. The DVD is so expensive to buy. It goes over $30 to just buy this film on DVD. So what I did is that I looked on the Laserdisc database and I ended up buying this film on eBay, or not, on Laserdisc database from a guy named Laser Blazer. Thank you for the great deal. I got this for $8. So this is the Laserdisc widescreen edition of the movie. If you don't know what a Laserdisc is, look it up. It's really cool, and I'm glad I have a player for one. I'm gonna put this down now. But yeah, guys, I think Faithful it was honestly very entertaining, and I'm hoping that, you know, since we're all under quarantine these days, that coincidentally, believe it or not, this film is on YouTube. There's 2 different versions of it on YouTube. It's not in the greatest of quality, and there's subtitles on it. But I would suggest you give this film a shot because a lot of Cher fans have not seen this film. And it's a really good performance by Cher. The movie's only 91 minutes. You're in and out. It's really quick. And I think it just deserves a little more recognition. I think this play should be done a little more. It's a lot different than anything you would see. Again, there are problems with it, and I think the main problem is that the stakes are not really that high, because we've kind of seen this type of material before, so we know where it begins and we know where it ends. But that's not to say it's not enjoyable. And I hope that maybe this video, if you just clicked on it, I'm glad you came here, I'm glad you saw this. And I just hope you go and check it out, because it's actually a pretty decent movie, and it deserves a little more recognition. So that's pretty much all I have to say about Faithful, guys. Have you seen this movie? What are your thoughts on it? Did you hate it? Did you love it? I'm curious to know. And please comment, like, and subscribe. I love it when you guys do that. Follow me on Instagram at Salvador J. Rocha, and I will see you guys very soon. Thank you so much for watching, and again, check out Faithful.